Good morning everyone. My name is Tanushi and today we are going to learn about very interesting topic of physics. The first one is magnetism and the second one is electromagnetism. So let's begin with magnets. What are magnets? Magnets are those materials which produces a magnetic field around it. Definitely, this magnetic field is not visible, but there are few effects associated with the magnetic field that is noticeable. What are they? The magnets repel and attract other magnets. Also, they attract or creates a pull to other materials like carbon, cobalt, nickel, steel, etc. I have some different types of magnets with me. Let's have a look. First, I have a bar magnet. Second, I have a horseshoe magnet. And third, I have a disc magnet with me. Now, let us see how we are going to identify different types of material with the help of a magnet. Let's pick this horseshoe magnet. If I'll bring this horseshoe magnet near this coin, it is not going to attract it. Why? Because the coin is made up of stainless steel. But if I'll bring this magnet near this iron nail, it gets attracted. Why? Because it is made up of iron. If I'll bring this horseshoe magnet near the spoon, no attraction takes place because again it is made up of stainless steel. You may know that every magnet has two poles, the north pole and the south pole. The red one is the north pole and the blue one is the south pole. So, if we bring the opposite poles together, they are going to attract each other, as you can see. But if we bring similar poles closer to each other, they are going to repel. Interesting, right? So, the question is, if I'm going to break this magnet from the middle, so will it going to divide into two magnets of single pole? The one is having the north pole and another will having the south pole? No. Even if we break this magnet into two different magnets, it will still exist in two poles. The one will be the north pole and another one will be the south pole. Okay, so if I'm saying that similar poles are repelling each other and opposite poles are attracting each other, then why this magnet is always attracting the materials like this? Do they have a north pole or a south pole? No. Such materials do not have north pole and the south pole, but when these magnets bring closer to such kind of materials, these magnets will induce polarity to such materials. How? Let us understand. Now this red one is the north pole. If I'll bring north pole of the magnet near this iron nail, this magnet will induce polarity in this iron nail. It will induce south pole over here and north pole over here. So because it is inducing south pole, that is why north and south pole attracts each other. Similarly, if I'll bring south pole near to this iron nail, it will induce north pole over here and south pole over here. So that is why when I bring this magnet closer to this iron nail, they are going to attract each other. This is how the magnet is attracting the materials like iron, cobalt, nickel, etc. So it means what we have learned that induction results into attraction. Now let's move to our next concept, that is magnetic field. What is magnetic field? The magnetic field of an object is the field or an area around an object such that when some other material enters that field is going to exert force onto it. That is known as the magnetic force. and magnetic field lines are those lines that is going to represent the magnetic field. Now we will perform a very interesting activity through which we come to know that what could be the shape of the magnetic field lines associated with the bar magnet. So let's begin. For this activity, we need a bar magnet, we need some iron fillings and a plain white paper. What we are going to do is place this bar magnet on the white sheet of paper, and then we are going to sprinkle some iron fillings onto it. Then what we will see that the iron fillings will automatically arrange themselves in the shape of the magnetic field lines. So let's start. They'll sprinkle the iron fillings like this. Just tap a little. When you tap a little, you can see such kind of pattern of the iron fillings. This indicates the magnetic field lines. In the similar manner, we can find out the magnetic field lines associated with the disc magnet and a horseshoe magnet with this simple activity. As of now, we have learnt about magnets, we have learnt about magnetic field, we have also seen different shapes of magnet, disc magnet, bar magnet and a horseshoe magnet. We have also done a small interesting activity through which we can find out the shape of the magnetic field lines in case of a bar magnet. In the similar manner, with the help of the iron fillings, we can also observe the pattern of the magnetic field lines associated with this disc magnet and the horseshoe magnet. Now, let us learn the properties of magnetic field lines. The very first very important property of a magnetic field line is that outside the bar magnet, the magnetic field lines start from the North Pole and end at the South Pole. As you can see in this picture, the magnetic field lines are originating from the North Pole and ends at the South Pole. This is outside the magnet. Now, if we talk about inside the magnet, then the direction of the magnetic field lines is from the South Pole to the North Pole, as you can see with the help of these arrows. Second important property of the magnetic field lines are they are closer near the poles and more widely separated at other places. So what does this indicate? This indicates that near the poles, the strength of the magnetic field is more than the other places which are away from the bar magnet or other shape of the magnets as well. Third important property is the magnetic field lines do not intersect each other. Although the magnetic field lines are very close near the poles, but they are never going to intersect each other. Now, this is all about magnetism, magnets, magnetic field lines, different shapes of the magnets. Now we will learn a new topic, that is electromagnetism. So before starting electromagnetism, tell me one thing, what is common to all these examples? Electric bell, crane lifting iron junk, maglev train, MRI machine. Yes, they all work on the magnetic effect of current. That is what the electromagnetism is. Now, before studying electromagnetism, we should know about the current. So current is the stream of charged particle. The charged particle can be electrons or it could be ions when they flow in a particular direction. So when the stream of charged particles flow in a particular direction, it will lead to a current. Now, what are the different effects of electric current? The first effect of the electric current is the heating effect. Then we will study the chemical effect of electric current, and at the last, the very interesting effect of electric current, that is the magnetic effect of electric current. Now let's have a look on the heating effect. As you all know that when the current passes through a conductor, then when you just touch that conductor, you will feel some hotness.
right? So that is what the heating effect of current is. The second example is the bulb. When the current passes through this filament, which is made up of tungsten, then this it will become hot and starts to glow. So why it becomes hot? Because heat energy here is associated with the electrical energy. That is what the heating effect of current is. Next, we have chemical effect. To understand the chemical effect, we should understand electrolysis. Electrolysis is a process in which the complex compounds decompose into simpler compounds. For example, here I have taken the example of electrolysis of water. In this, you can see when electric current passes through the water, it will breaks down into hydrogen molecule and oxygen molecule. So as you can see, in the presence of electric current, a chemical reaction takes place, right? So such kind of effect is known as the chemical effect of electric current. Then we have magnetic effect. So before starting the magnetic effect of electric current, let me tell you one thing, that magnetism is a phenomenon which has been known to us since ancient times. In 1700s, electricity was discovered, and in 1820, Ørsted come up with a very interesting discovery, that is the magnetic effect of electric current. Now, what is that effect? This is a conductive wire, and this is a magnetic compass. When there is no current in the wire, the magnetic compass will remain in its regular north-south direction. But as we pass the current through this wire, through this conductive wire, you will see some kind of deflection. Why? What is the science behind it? Let's understand. As we have discussed, like poles repel each other and opposite poles attract each other. So why such kind of deflections takes place in case when you bring two magnets together? Because each magnet is producing a magnetic field around it. This magnet is also producing a magnetic field around it. When you bring these two magnets closer to each other, the magnetic field is going to interact with each other. Due to this interaction, the repulsion and the attraction takes place. In the similar manner, if you see this magnetic compass, the needle is made up of tiny magnet. So if it is a tiny magnet, then definitely it is producing a magnetic field around it. So if you see any kind of deflection in this tiny magnet or in this needle, then it definitely means that it is interacting with some another magnetic field. Now the question is, where this magnetic field is coming from? Yes, the magnetic field is coming from this straight conductor. The straight conductor is producing a field around it, that is a magnetic field around it, and when the magnetic compass brings near to the straight conductor, it shows deflection because of the interaction between the magnetic field associated with this needle and the magnetic field associated with this straight conductor. So we conclude that a current carrying conductor produces a magnetic field around it, or electricity is producing magnetism. This is what electromagnetism is. Before this discovery, before this Ørsted experiment, electricity and magnetism, they both are two different phenomena. But after this discovery, we came to know that electricity and magnetism are interrelated. It could be called as a single term, that is electromagnetism. Now we will learn the magnetic field lines associated with the conductors of different shape. Firstly, we will discuss the straight wire, the current carrying straight wire, the current carrying circular loop, and the current carrying solenoid. Let's begin with straight conductor. If you consider the straight conductor and passes the current through it, you will observe in the form of the concentric circles, you will get the magnetic field lines. Now the question is, how we come to know the shape of the magnetic field lines associated with the straight conductor? Yes, and with the help of the iron fillings. So for this, you need to perform a very simple activity. This is a wire conductor, and this wire is passed through a cardboard perpendicularly like this. You take some iron fillings and sprinkle the iron fillings on this cardboard. When you pass the electric current through this wire, you will observe that the iron fillings will arrange themselves in the shape of the concentric circles centered at this straight conductor. So with the help of this very simple activity, we can find out the shape of the magnetic field lines associated with the straight conductor. Now, the second question comes to our mind, then how we come to know the direction of the magnetic field lines? So yes, for this, we need to understand Maxwell's right-hand thumb rule. What does this rule say? This rule says that if you hold the current carrying straight conductor in your hand like this, in your right hand like this, so that your thumb will point in the direction of the current, then the curls of the finger will give you the direction of the magnetic field lines. As you can see in this picture, this blue color is showing the current carrying straight conductor. You are holding it in such a manner that your thumb will point in the direction of the current. Then the curls of the finger is going to give you the direction of magnetic field lines. Similarly, if the current is flowing in the downward direction, then your curling of the finger will be like this. So the curl of the finger will give you the direction of magnetic field lines, that is the clockwise direction. Now, third question, what are the factors that is going to affect the strength of the magnetic field? So, because this is the current which is responsible for producing a magnetic field around a conductor. So definitely, if you increase the strength of the current, the strength of the magnetic field will also increase. Secondly, distance. If you go away from the current carrying conductor, the strength is going to decrease. If you are closer to the straight current carrying conductor, then the strength will increase. So the strength of the magnetic field is directly proportional to the current, but inversely proportional to the distance from the current carrying conductor. So three things we have learned about straight conductors. The first one is the shape of the magnetic field lines with the help of the iron fillings. Then we have learned the direction of the magnetic field lines with the help of Maxwell's right-hand thumb rule. And then we have also learned on what factors the strength of the magnetic field is going to depend on. Now, let's come to the second shape of the conductor, that is the circular loop. Now, if you observe the circular loop carefully, then you can see that the circular loop is divided into small straight conductors. For example, if you see this portion of the circular loop, you can see that this is a straight conductor. As we have already discussed that in case of a straight conductor, the shape of the magnetic field lines is in the form of concentric circles, right? So if you consider this segment of this complete loop, then the shape of the magnetic field lines will again a concentric circles like this. Now the question is how you are going to find out the direction of the magnetic field line with the help of Maxwell's right-hand thumb rule. So as the current is pointing in the upward direction, so if you place your thumb like this, so that your thumb points in the direction of the current, so your curls of the finger is going to give you the direction of magnetic field lines. So because your curling of the finger is like this, so the magnetic field lines will be like this. That is in the anti-clockwise direction. Similarly, here the direction of the current is in downward direction, right? So if you put your thumb like this, then your curling of the finger is like this. So it will be go this way, that is in the clockwise direction. Okay. So from this we have learned the shape of the magnetic field lines associated with the circular loop and the direction of the magnetic field lines. Definitely one point needs to be noted here, that the strength of the magnetic field with regard to this circular loop is much more than a straight conductor. Definitely, because as you can see, you have the concentric circles of magnetic field lines associated with each segment of the circular loop. So it is going to increase the complete strength of this magnet. Now, the last shape of the conductor is solenoid. Now, what is solenoid? A solenoid is a long coil made up of insulated copper wire containing large number of turns like this. Now, the question is why it is made up of copper wire? Because copper is a conductor, is that material which offers very less resistance. That is what we need. So when you pass the current through the solenoid, it will also produce magnetic field around it. And for your information, the magnetic field pattern so obtained in case of a solenoid is similar to that of a bar magnet, as you can see here. This is so similar to the magnetic field pattern that we have observed in case of a bar magnet like this, right? So the shape of the magnetic field is same as that produced by the bar magnet. So the next question is, on what factors the strength of the magnetic field lines is going to depend on? Yes, the first point is definitely the value of the current which is passing through this coil, this solenoid. The second thing is the number of turns. More will be the number of turns, more will be the strength of the magnetic field lines. And third thing through which we can increase the strength of the magnetic field is by placing a iron core in this coil. In this solenoid, if we place the iron core, it could increase the strength of the magnetic field lines. So what we have learned? We have learned about magnetism, and secondly, we have learned about electromagnetism. In electromagnetism, what we have learned? We have learned about the Oersted experiment. Secondly, we have learned about the shapes associated with the shape of different conductors. Like we have a straight wire, we have a circular loop, and we have a solenoid. So that's all for today's session. I hope you have learned something from my video. Thank you so much for watching it.
Meru is the brainchild of the My Home Group, is a vast business house which has varied interests in real estate, cement, power and now education. So we here at Meru really want to make sure the children are very comfortable here at school with their teachers and with their students, that they build their own relationships, become as independent as possible and develop a very balanced EQ so that they can tackle tomorrow's issues a lot better. Academic rigor is non-negotiable for us here at the school. But the way we teach the academics, the way we teach each concept is done in such a manner that it excites the children. So whether it's digital content, whether we map an activity to a learning, whether we do a hands-on experience, or sometimes we pull out the children out of the class just so that we break the monotony of sitting in the class. With the vastness of the curriculum coming in, we'll have to make things more relevant for the child to remember, to understand and to produce it on their own, instead of the general mugging and the rote method. Art is actually very integrated with the curriculum. Whatever they learn as per certain subjects are mapped to the art curriculum as well. That just reinforces their thought process, reinforces their learning a lot more. Because what we crave for is safety and security, and that's what we are ensuring and reinforcing here at Meru. We have approximately 400 cameras looking all over in the school. There's a proper CCTV monitoring room. The buses are GPS oriented. These are important aspects in a school. Even though we're very centrally located in the heart of the city, I must say, the Meru school has been built in such a manner that it can accommodate 1800 kids. We have 3 basketball courts, 2 badminton courts, 1 mini football field, 1 cricket pitch, a huge indoor space. We promote sports quite a bit. Our 5th floor is mapped for sports as well, eventually when the higher grades come. It's a huge space and it's been very well planned. Our labs and the library and our every other facility is ready for the higher grades of 9th and 10th. And eventually we intend to launch the 11th and 12th grade in a year or 2. Currently we have the 8th grade batch moving to the 9th, and we have approximately 1030 kids in the second year itself. We're very humbled and extremely happy about the number. Even the 3rd year admissions are going very strong. Very thanks to the support and the word of mouth of our current parents. I'm glad that they like what we're doing at Meru, and I'm glad that the kids are happy and they are happy.